Tonight, that dangerous smoke emergency on the move, blanketing tens of millions across the country. From Chicago to New York to Washington, skylines blotted out. D.C.'s iconic monuments barely visible. This time lapse shows the smoke making Pittsburgh just disappear. The Major League Baseball game just postponed. Plus, President Trump's new threat to Canada if they don't stop the smoke. Texas flood emergency, the urgent rescues of trapped families, and our first look at the total devastation. This bridge completely washed out, cars and RVs flipped, and now crews bringing food to children stranded in camps. Gas prices rising again at the as the U.S. military ramps up strikes in Iran. New video showing the surveillance tower destroyed as U.S. forces rappel down onto a tanker in the region. New details about that parasite outbreak. The lettuce supplier now recalling some of its products, but is iceberg lettuce the only concern? What experts are now saying. Severe weather sweeping through Europe, a tornado in France, and wildfires in Spain. Plus, Chipotle opening its first location in Mexico. Can the burrito giant take a bite out of the market there? Everything you need to know about FIFA's first ever World Cup halftime show. The big names headlining and why it has some worried about player safety. Plus, the new research on weight loss drugs, why some are not gaining the weight back after going off GLP-1s. Top story starts right now. And good evening. We begin tonight with that air quality emergency gripping so much of the country. 100 million Americans breathing unhealthy air tonight as smoke from those Canadian wildfires smothers city after city and town after town. Time-lapse video shows the Pittsburgh skyline completely disappearing as that smoke settles in. And these shocking orange skies in Rochester, look at that. New York, this is Rochester, New York, as planes take off into the haze. Unrecognizable skies from D.C. to New York as President Trump tonight threatens to levy more tariffs on Canada over the smoke pouring over the border. We're tracking where that haze is heading next, along with another severe weather threat. Catastrophic floods in Texas. This town fully submerged. You see it right here. Look how bad that is. The harrowing rescue missions are still underway. The damage coming to focus, this bridge in Uvalde destroyed by the rush of the water. Our reporters in the smoke and flood zones tonight. We begin with Tom Costello, who leads us off from Washington.
100 million Americans from Minnesota to South Carolina facing dangerous smoke from the Canadian wildfires. The Washington Monument surrounded by smoke, a haze over downtown Baltimore, people masking up in Philadelphia.
It's really hard to breathe, especially in the afternoon. It becomes even worse.
In Cleveland, they postponed tonight's Guardians-Pirates baseball game because of it. The D.C. government canceling its outdoor activities and closing outdoor pools. I shot this video as I landed at Washington Reagan this morning. Canadian smoke hanging low. The president's helicopter lifting off in a haze. The air quality here considered unhealthy. My eyes have been red and itchy all day. I've been coughing. Health experts say if you're outside for any period of time, you should wear an N95 mask. Chicago and Detroit both choking on smoke that put air quality readings in the hazardous range. EMS respiratory distress calls surging.
Look, this is pretty unprecedented. We shattered records yesterday.
Georgetown Med's Dr. Helen Dakota telling me.
So this is a red alert air quality situation, which means that everyone can feel symptoms of the poor air quality. And this includes shortness of breath, chest tightness, wheezing.
With nearly 200 fires now burning in Ontario alone. Toronto silhouetted against an orange sky with predictions the fires could burn into the fall.
With that, Tom joins us tonight from smoky Washington, D.C. Tom, you got to wear the mask out there because it is so dangerous. Talk to us about the other folks around D.C. Are people heeding these warnings?
They appear to be. Many people are wearing masks. Not that many people out, candidly. People are staying inside. And meanwhile, Tom, the president threatening tariffs against Canada for, in his view, not doing a better job of maintaining their force. His words there. Now, listen, there are more than 800 fires burning in Canada right now, and climate experts say part of it is climate change. But let's not forget, Canada has always sent their firefighters to the United States to help fight fires here, including the devastating Palisades fire last year in L.A., Tom.
Okay, Tom Costello for us there with some new reporting. Tom, we thank you for that. NBC News meteorologist Bill Cairns is here. He's tracking the smoke and all the clouds out there. So the big question, Bill, I guess, is what's going to happen this weekend? Will this eventually clear out?
It will, and it's going to clear out in a hurry. And also some thunderstorms will mix in with it. It's going to be a wild weekend in the Northeast. So we have these fires that are still burning here in Ontario, and the officials up there told us today they're not going to go out until either it rains and pours enough to put them out or until it snows this winter. So we're going to be dealing with these smoke plumes periodically for the next couple months. The worst air quality right now is just in Grand Rapids. But look at Chicago, finally in the yellow. We're changing the wind direction, and we're blowing the smoke back up into Canada. Areas in the Mid-Atlantic, not so lucky, still very high in Pittsburgh. DC's come down a little bit. Philadelphia's at 216, so you're still pretty high. So the smoke tomorrow moves to the north, back up through New England. We get these thunderstorms with it, but look on the backside. The winds are coming out of the north again. The smoke returns to areas that's going to clear out today. Green Bay, northern Michigan. So it just all depends on which wind direction is. Those thunderstorms, by the way, are going to have a pack a punch. We could see isolated tornadoes, wind damage, maybe 65-mile-per-hour winds all through the Mid-Atlantic back into the Ohio Valley. So that's going to be tomorrow afternoon. Then by the time we get to Sunday, that whole system exits, the sun returns, but with it, some of that smoke I mentioned. As of the World Cup game, a lot of people are going to have eyes on this. We're not going to see the incredible images like we've seen out of New York with all the smoke, but there will be some smoke in the air, mostly high, not down at the ground. So I don't think it'll interfere with the match at all, Tom, but it will be there.
Yeah, tough to play, though, in those conditions. Bill, we thank you for that. We know it's going to be a very sort of wild weekend. Now to the historic flooding leaving a path of devastation across Texas Hill Country. Communities that were just beginning to recover, hit by deadly floodwaters again. NBC's Priscilla Thompson and her team are there tonight.
Tonight, unrelenting rain submerging new communities in Texas. Authorities making high water rescues, bringing families and pets to safety. Rain falling as fast as 4 inches per hour in Crockett County. And we're seeing new images that show the power of those floodwaters. The Nueces River tearing apart this bridge in Uvalde County. We made our way into hard-hit Kerr County today, meeting a man named Andy, showing us how high the water rose.
I woke up and opened the door, and there was water flowing. It's pitch black and raining very hard, and you just knew that something bad was coming. Narrowly
escaping his RV, his girlfriend was nearly swept away, saved by a neighbor just in time.
She came out of the rig, and the current kind of took her down, and they were just there.
And back in Uvalde County.
Never had an issue where I've lost everything.
A woman named Breve telling our Ryan Chandler she's desperately searching for cherished items that can never be replaced.
My grandparents are no longer with me, so there's things that they gave me that I'm trying to find.
And tonight, we're learning the identity of one of the people killed in these floods. Mark Stewart lived in Kerrville. His wife, Jenny, posting, "Mark, my love, I will forever be grateful for the beautiful years we shared together."
It's all so sad. Priscilla Thompson joins us now from Kerr County, Texas. Priscilla, we see that damage there behind you. These people need help, and it sounds like some federal help is on the way, according to the governor.
Yeah, Tom, help on the way, and it is because of damage like this. You have this RV completely on its side, the picnic table going through the window of it, and all in just this area, you have this car turned on its side and this SUV landing on top of the guardrail. The roads here still closed, and so the governor has issued a major disaster declaration to try to get more of that federal funding coming in. Tom?
Okay, Priscilla Thompson for us there with all that destruction. We want to turn now to politics and President Trump's primetime address to the nation. The president making some bold claims of foreign election interference and making his case for greater security reform. But today, his critics saying he offered little to no proof. Garrett Hake reports from the White House.
In his primetime address to the nation, President Trump castigating America's election system, saying it's rife with what he called shocking vulnerabilities, with the White House posting hundreds of pages of declassified but highly redacted documents.
These disclosures reveal an election system so broken and so vulnerable that no one can possibly defend it.
The president accusing China of illicitly acquiring 220 million American voter files beginning in 2020, though much of that information is available publicly.
They fought like hell not to have it, Donald Trump, to win.
China's foreign ministry calling those claims, quote, entirely fabricated and a malicious smear. The president also pointing to a review of state voter rolls and public records by the Department of Homeland Security.
They identified approximately 278,000 non-citizens who are registered to vote in federal elections.
But election experts say the database that may have been used for that analysis often flags newly naturalized citizens as non-citizen voters. The DHS secretary today warning state election officials to accept new federal involvement in their election security processes, or else
those individuals can also be held accountable by fines, by penalties, and even, depending on how far it goes, prison time.
Democrats today blasting the president's speech.
What we also saw last night was a clear signal of this president's intent to unconstitutionally wield federal power, to attack this election, and to undermine voting rights.
Garrett Haake joins us now. Garrett, the president is pointing the finger at China, right? But he's doing this while he's also welcoming the leader of that country to the White House for a fall visit.
Yeah, Tom, if there are to be consequences for China, we've not seen any evidence of them yet. The White House confirmed today that the president does still plan to host Chinese leader Xi Jinping for an official state visit this fall, the red carpet treatment there. And just a short time ago this evening, the president joked about hosting a joint World Cup tournament with China in the future. Tom?
Garrett Haake at the White House for us on this Friday. Another challenge for President Trump, gas prices rising again. Now back to nearly $4 a gallon nationwide as the renewed military strikes between the U.S. and Iran are rapidly escalating. Keir Simmons reports tonight from inside that region.
Tonight, the destruction of a surveillance tower said to be used by Iran to track targets in the Strait of Hormuz. The new video from U.S. Central Command, hours after releasing dramatic footage of U.S. Marines rappelling onto a tanker. As gas prices in the U.S. rise and traffic through the Strait of Hormuz fell to a 3-week low, the U.S. again attempting to force Iran to back down. President Trump promising results.
You will see the fruits of that labor very, very shortly.
But Iranian state media releasing video of its own, saying this footage shows a drone attack on a Thailand-flagged tanker in the strait. And Iran accusing the U.S. of killing civilians in the bombing of this bridge near the strait. Tonight, Iran releasing this poster of 7 people it says were killed in strikes on bridges, including 3 women and a child. Their funerals announced for tomorrow. And Iran said these drones were launched at U.S. targets in Kuwait. A desalination and energy plant were hit. In 24 hours, Iran targeting 7 U.S. partners and allies in the region. Here, an ammunition depot in Iraq hit.
Keir Simmons joins us tonight live from Qatar, and Keir, fighting is still underway even right now?
That's right, Tom. U.S. Central Command just saying that it has launched another wave of strikes against Iran. It is escalating. It is expanding, Tom. We have seen the numbers of strikes, as I mentioned in my report, spread across this region. And only overnight we heard loud explosions. They shook the windows, Tom. And then in the morning, Qatar here saying that those explosions were the result of interceptions of flying Iranian munitions and that a child was injured by debris falling. So civilians in the crossfire on both sides. And just tonight, too, Tom, we've heard that in Saudi Arabia there was an alert for a possible attack. That alert has now been is now over, but it just goes to show just how this is continuing to build, the tension building. And Tom, it's difficult to see how there is an off-ramp for either side at this stage. Tom?
Keir Simmons for us. Keir, thank you. Back here at home, we have new details on that growing stomach illness. Health officials now reporting cases in at least 34 states from the outbreak, and a major supplier now saying they are pulling all iceberg lettuce coming from a particular farm. The question tonight, could other produce also be contaminated? Here's Ann Thompson.
Tonight, Taylor Farms voluntarily removing from the U.S. market all its iceberg lettuce sourced from central Mexico. This after the FDA and CDC warned Americans not to eat shredded iceberg lettuce from Mexico, served at Taco Bell restaurants in 5 states. Today, Taco Bell said it's removed all that lettuce from its supply chain nationwide. The government says more than 1,644 people infected with cyclospora, the foodborne parasite causing severe intestinal illness. But with cases in 29 other states, experts say iceberg lettuce may not be the only problem. Is it likely it could even be just one type of produce?
Given that we have multiple outbreaks going on, at least according to the FDA, we just don't know at this point.
Cyclospora spreads when human feces get into food or water. It can enter the food supply anywhere from irrigation in the fields to the production line. In this case, Taylor Farms' parent company says the FDA traceback investigation identified a specific Mexican farm. Tonight, the FDA says be cautious with pre-washed produce, and cooking is the safest option.
All right, Ann Thompson joins us now live on set. Taylor Farms, they've been linked to other outbreaks, right? So what happens now, and do they eventually get fined, or I don't know about banned, but I mean watched?
Well, what happens is they get a whole lot of bad publicity. There are lawsuits that will be filed. There have been in the past. There have been 2 very famous cases that Taylor Farms was involved in. One you'll remember 2 years ago. Remember McDonald's had that outbreak of E. coli contamination on its burgers. The slivered onions were traced back to Taylor Farm. Remember those? And then in 2013, there was another cyclospora outbreak. That involved salad mixes from Taylor Farms. Again, bad publicity, lawsuits, no federal fines.
I know this is important.
That we could find.
Yeah, I know this is important because you said it in your report, but let's say it again. Explain to our viewers real quickly how they think this happens. It's contaminated water that's been sprayed on the produce, possibly?
It could be. It is basically, this parasite comes when human feces get into either food or water. And so it could happen anywhere along the production line. It could happen in the irrigation field if the water's contaminated. It could be a worker doesn't wash their hands and they're handling food. It could happen there. So that's the problem. And then when it gets inside you, it takes 2 to 14 days to incubate before you get sick. So all of that causes a problem in trying to trace it, because I don't know about you, I can't remember what I ate yesterday, let alone 14 days beforehand. So it's very, very difficult for federal and state officials to trace this.
Okay, Ann Thompson, thanks for explaining all that to us. We appreciate it. We're going to be back in a moment with the alleged ambush caught on camera. Deputies shot while responding to a reported hostage situation. The dramatic new video will play it all for you. Plus an update on the troubling series of cancer cases impacting several children in the same community. Why the feds are now calling for an investigation into environmental links. And the daring highway rescue, an officer rushing to save a driver trapped inside a burning car. We'll show you that moment ahead on Top Story. We're back now with some intense body cam video. We're going to show you a gunman opening fire on deputies in Florida. That suspect killed in a shootout after allegedly holding his ex-girlfriend hostage. We do want to warn you, some of this video is disturbing.
Loaded 3V, I'm hit. I'm in my car, I got hit in the neck.
Tonight, these newly released videos taking us inside an alleged ambush on sheriff's deputies near Tampa, Florida. The edited footage released by the Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office shows this deputy getting out of his SUV, then falling to the ground as he's shot. Another deputy hit before he even gets out of his car.
I'm hit.
Then watch as the third deputy returns fire, the gunman falling over.
Hey, get us ambulance, get an ambulance.
An officer then races to help one of the injured deputies away from his bullet-ridden SUV.
Hey, bullets in my hand.
The hand of God was with our deputies here today.
The Hillsborough County Sheriff says the gunman was 34-year-old Chris Machowski, a convicted felon who had allegedly held his ex-girlfriend hostage Wednesday night.
He tells her, as he's holding her at gunpoint, that he's going to kill her.
Then, as deputies moved in on Machowski yesterday, he allegedly opened fire. The injured officers medevac to the hospital. The sheriff sharing this X-ray image showing bullet fragments in one deputy's hand. And tonight, both injured officers are recovering from a frightening close call. The sheriff says the suspect was also taken to the hospital where he was pronounced dead. Tom?
Jesse Kirsch on that one first. Coming up, how patients can actually keep weight off when they go off GLP-1s, what the new research is showing. And our great American this week, John Leguizamo, his trailblazing journey from Colombia to the big screen and the important lessons he learned along the way. We're back now with Top Stories news feed. We start with the Legionnaires outbreak here in New York City. Health officials just reported the first death linked to the cluster of cases. So far, more than 60 people have been diagnosed and a dozen are still in the hospital. The disease is a form of pneumonia and it can grow in warm water and spread in buildings, cooling systems. But investigators still haven't identified a specific source of the outbreak. Now to Top Stories Health Check and the new research casting doubt on a long-held assumption about weight loss drugs. 3 studies finding that up to 70% of patients were actually able to maintain their weight loss after they stopped taking GLP-1s. I want to bring in NBC News medical contributor Dr. John Torres for more on this. And Dr. John, this is a headline. The reason why we're doing it is because these findings are way different than what the original clinical trials found. How big of a deal is this, and how much stock should we put into this?
And Tom, I think the answers is yes to both of them. Yes, it's a big deal, and yes, you should put a lot of stock into this, because what these studies have shown us is what happens in real life when people take these GLP-1 medications, and more importantly, when they stop these medications. Now, when you go back to the original studies, and semaglutide and tirzepatide have been approved for a couple of years, in the original studies, not only did they do weight loss studies, but they actually did what are called discontinuation studies. In other words, they put people on the weight loss medication, and in some of them, they actually switched them over to a placebo. That's a cold turkey, but it's a cold turkey without them knowing they're going cold turkey because of the way the studies are built. And so people in those instances ended up rebounding back to their original weight. Well, push forward to 2026, and what we're finding out from the studies in real life is that people don't cold turkey necessarily. They do other things, and they end up not gaining that weight back. As a matter of fact, 6 months to 2 years after stopping these medications, 45 to 70% of people ended up keeping their same weight. And like you mentioned, Tom, that is a big deal.
Yeah, so is the headline then maybe a little deceiving, because it's not that they stopped cold turkey, they were doing other healthy habits as well?
And that's exactly what the headline and that's exactly what the studies are showing us. Yeah. What people do in real life is a few different things. Number one, they typically don't go cold turkey. They end up either tapering it off themselves or with their physician's help tapering it off. They stop and then they go back on it. But the important thing is, and that's what we think is happening here to a big extent, is people in that time period when they're on these GLP-1s, they learn lifestyle modifications, and those lifestyle modifications carry them through and continue that weight loss. What we don't know is what's going to happen 5, 10, 20 years down the road, Tom.
Dr. John, any danger for the people that get off and get on, like sort of the back and forth, the whiplash with the body? Is that unhealthy, or we don't see any red flags yet?
You know, at this point, we don't have enough information to understand what happens when people do that rebounding from one GLP-1, stopping it, and then going back on another one, or going on a separate GLP-1. The concern is, you know, we know GLP-1s help you with weight loss, but we're also finding out, we've known they help you with diabetes. We're finding out they help you with cardiovascular issues, inflammation issues, those types of things. And if you stop, start, we don't know what stress that's going to put on the body. And so you definitely want to work with your physician. You definitely want to work with your team to make sure that if you do end up stopping, you end up tapering down and you end up doing other things, lifestyle modifications, to keep that weight off, because that is an important step, but also these other things add to it as well. And so, again, there's hardly any medicines out there you want to cold turkey, and this is definitely one of those you typically don't want to cold turkey. You want to make sure you do it appropriately, Tom.
All right, Dr. John for us. John, always great to see you. Thank you.
You bet, Tom.
Now to our weekly series, Great Americans, where we talk with those who have achieved so much about their life and this country. Tonight, one of the stars of the new epic, The Odyssey, on his own journey through Hollywood to blaze a trail for others. Our Great American tonight, John Leguizamo. What do you love about America?
The fact that, you know, it gave me so many opportunities. I'm grateful for all that.
Remember me? Benny Blanco from the Bronx?
John Leguizamo has been captivating audiences for decades.
No, I'm not supposed to put you out of your misery.
From the screen,
I didn't ask to come on this trip, did I? No, I don't think so.
To the stage. Born in Colombia, his family moved to the U.S. when he was just 2.5 years old. Even at an early age, Leguizamo
like to make people laugh.
I knew I had this ability, but I was disruptive. And my math teacher said, why don't you use your comedy for good? Why don't you become a comedian? So I did start looking up in the yellow page. That's how old I am. And I found an acting school, and I was 17. And that class changed my life.
Today, he has more than 100 screen credits.
100, that's a big number.
Yeah.
And you've been so successful, but it is rejection. It's auditioning, not getting a role, people telling you, we're not into you or whatever. You're too Latin, you're not Latin enough. How did you deal with that?
Absolutely, you have to have tough skin. But luckily for me, coming from the ghetto and underprivileged, I felt everything was a success. Every crumb, every tiny molecule of success was a huge win for me.
And his biggest success could happen this weekend, starring in The Odyssey, produced by NBC Universal and made by Oscar-winning director Christopher Nolan.
We spent 2 hours at lunch. He would tell me about his life, his career, which was incredible. And then he told me I'm doing The Odyssey. And he got this character, Eumaeus. He goes, he's the most loyal character in Western literature. And I was like, oh, that's a heavy lift. I like it. And then at the dessert time, he said, you have the role. And I was like, excuse me? Because I thought I misunderstood it. You got the role. Oh, wow.
Do you say yes, or do you have to kind of wait?
No, I said yes. Of course I said yes. As soon as he left, I ran home, hugged my wife, kissed my children, called my friends, because it was the most exciting thing ever.
But even with all his success, Leguizamo has never forgotten where he's come from, delivering this message to Hollywood at the 2024 Emmys.
For years, I didn't complain about the limited roles my people were offered. The spicy sex pot, the Latin lover, the maid, the gangbanger. Turns out not complaining doesn't change anything.
So you're up on the podium.
Yeah.
You're behind that mic.
Right.
And you light the place on fire.
Oh, yeah.
Why?
Because look where we're living in, man. I see myself as an artist. And artists are political. Artists take risks. But I think you have to risk things in life to get more things, especially for your people.
And for Leguizamo, that's all part of being an American.
What is an American?
An American is a person who is considerate, respectful, who believes in others, who protects the vulnerable, who helps others achieve their dreams, who unites, who saves the world and keeps peace.
John Leguizamo, our thanks to you. Still to come tonight, the wild weather overseas, from fast-moving wildfires to a devastating landslide and a powerful twister. We're tracking it all. Plus, the American chain Chipotle setting up shop for the first time in Mexico. But will locals actually buy in, or will the burrito joint be a bust? Stay with us. Back now with Top Stories Global Watch and a check of what's happening around the world. We start in China, where a deadly landslide slammed a city in the southwest part of the country. Dashcam captured the moment it hit. You could see that massive cloud of dust sending people scrambling in the streets, entire buildings buried, more than 1,100 people forced to evacuate. Local officials and state media are reporting at least 8 were killed and more than 30 others are missing. And another round of extreme weather sweeping across Europe. In eastern France, a reported tornado touching down near this highway. The powerful winds flipping over this tractor trailer and sending debris flying through the air. In Spain, crews are racing to get a fast-moving wildfire under control. Authorities say more than 1,000 people have been evacuated. It's one of several fires burning across the country right now. And a team of researchers in South Korea showing off some new high-tech robot gear. The purpose? To help people get dressed. Check it out. No hands at all. The suit uses these flexible vines powered by air pressure. It helps the fabric climb up the person's body. Only takes about 10 seconds to suit up. They say it could help a variety of people, including the elderly and emergency workers. All right, let's turn now to the World Cup final, where defending champions Argentina will face off against powerhouse Spain Sunday in New Jersey. The blockbuster event is also making headlines in the entertainment world because it's set to feature a halftime show for the first time in FIFA's history. Headliners include Shakira, Madonna, Justin Bieber, BTS, and Coldplay, with the band's frontman Chris Martin tasked with curating the show. He's been busy promoting the event, enlisting the help of Elmo. Take a listen.
Well, this year, for the first time, there's a halftime show at the World Cup final.
What?
Yeah.
No, a halftime show?
Yeah, halftime show.
A halftime show?
A halftime show.
What's a halftime show?
And we, like Elmo, also have a lot of questions about the halftime show. For more on the match and the historic performance, I want to bring in our panel. Maurice Adu, he's an analyst and former professional soccer player, an NBC entertainment correspondent, a good friend of Top Story. Over here. Hi. Chloe Malas, who we always love. Chloe, we're going to start with you. This is the first time FIFA has put on a show like this, right? And here's the confusing part. They want to do this like in 15 minutes. There's like a million great acts.
Okay, so not 15 minutes. It's going to be more like 25, 30 minutes. And I mean, my mind is blown as to how are they going to fit all of this in. I mean, star-studded, Madonna, BTS, Justin Bieber. Let's hope he doesn't do what he did at Coachella, where he just plays YouTube music videos of himself on stage. Let's hope it's a little bit more action-packed. But this is the first time that they are doing it, and it's like 96-year history. And a lot of fans are divided over it. Many say, let's just focus on football. Let's not distract. Others are saying it might not be good for actually the players' physical health. But at the end of the day, Chris Martin, this is his brainchild. He came up with it 4 years ago. He approached FIFA with this idea to curate a halftime show, and it feels like the Super Bowl. It feels very American.
There's some very big acts.
Yes. So, I mean, look, are they going to be able to get it all in? We don't know.
I had to be reminded the Biebs is Canadian, so.
Very true.
And then you got BTS. But, okay, Maurice, there's a concern that if it goes past 15 minutes, it could be violating the rules of the game. I mean, and I'm being honest here, will people that love soccer be sort of offended by this? Will they find it annoying? And will it impact the game since players aren't used to this?
Well, I agree that fans are going to be divided, of course. There's going to be the purists who are like, why are we introducing this? We've never had it before. We don't need it. And then there's the others that are, I guess, maybe a little bit more progressive who are like, Justin Bieber, Madonna, Shakira, like, yeah, Coldplay, let's introduce this. Why not? To your question about the player safety, this is where it's interesting because typically you have 15 minutes and that 15 minutes, it's just enough for the players to get a little bit of rest and recovery, but you don't feel like you become almost cold again, almost deconditioned. And so I'll be intrigued to see if they give the players a little bit of time to get almost a second warm up in because, you know, you got to get your heart rate back up, get your body and your muscles back fired up and ready for the second half.
I'm sure the haters are going to be saying Messi likes it because he can chill even more, but we'll get to the game in a second, Maurice. Chloe, I want to talk about some bling, right? Because this is the first time that the winners of the tournament will receive a ring. What? That's basketball. That's football. What is this?
Sapphires and diamonds, which are a girl's best friend. Well, guess what, Tom? You, too, can own one of these rings. They're making 2,036 of them. Whoa. 30 go to these players. They're going to get temporary rings in the beginning, and whoever wins, they will have their logo inscribed on the side. But then the rest will be sold to fans. So you soon will be wearing sapphires and diamonds if you would like to. And it's, again, very American to have this championship ring. Some people are saying it's gaudy and it's tacky and that they shouldn't be doing it. Will they do it again? We don't know, but again,
but you're right. It is very American.
Like a new era for FIFA, it feels like, with the halftime show, the rings, and let me tell you, it's going to be a who's who this weekend in the stadium. You might as well just watch just to see who's going to be there.
Do we have any idea how much the rings will cost, or they're going to give them away to people like fans and people that are dedicated to the teams?
It looks as though you can buy them. Okay. I don't know how much they cost, but they are going to be expensive.
And that is a very American thing. If you ever anywhere and someone has a giant ring, you know, like they've won some great championship. Maurice, let's preview the big game. Okay, what are you watching in the showdown between Argentina and Spain? I'm not going to lie here. I will be rooting for Argentina and Messi. I want to see them go back-to-back and see Messi finish as the greatest ever. Does Argentina have a chance here? Because Spain looks so strong.
Well, of course Argentina have a chance. You mentioned the name of the greatest player this sport has ever produced in Lionel Messi. So with that guy on the pitch, you always have a chance. If you look at Argentina's run through the knockout rounds, literally every game has been competitive. But because they have a difference maker in Messi, they found a way to win games. Now, that being said, you have the best attacking team in the competition. Argentina have scored 19 goals. And then Spain, they've only conceded 1 goal this whole tournament, right? It's a record number. And, you know, the cliche, offense wins you games, defense wins you championships. Where the edge maybe tilts towards Argentina is the experience. 17 players on this team.
That. Who's been there and who's sort of been together for the longer?
Yes, so they have 17 players that were part of their championship team in 2002. But as much as we celebrate Messi being the star and the galvanizing factor for his team, Spain, it's not about the individual star. Yes, they have Lamine Yamal. He's had an okay tournament. but their strength really relies on how collected they are as a team. Their best asset is how collected they are in the team spirit. So, yes, I would say the favorite going into the game in Spain. And if you ask me to choose, I just find it very difficult to bet against the GOAT.
Yeah. Oh, I love it. I love it. Okay, good. What about you, Chloe, before we go?
Messi.
Yes. All right. 3 for Argentina, and you're wearing blue. I love it. All right. Maurice and Chloe, thank you so much. We're so excited for Sunday. This next one, it might make you hungry. Chipotle is taking a bite out of the Mexican market. You heard us right. It's opening its first ever location south of the border. It may not surprise you. It's already cooking up some controversy. George Solis has a story and a taste test.
The hottest new restaurant in Mexico is Chipotle.
Un bowl, un burrito y una chip.
You heard that right.
Probando el primer Chipotle en Monterrey.
The burrito bowl giant is serving up its Americanized version of Mexican cuisine in the country that inspired it. And almost immediately,
Did you guys hear that Chipotle is opening up a restaurant in Mexico?
the commentary has been anything but mild.
Why are people so up in arms about Chipotle opening up in Mexico?
Ahead of the official opening, local food content creators like Caro Zamora got an early taste.
It was amazing. Chipotle has finally arrived in Mexico.
But it's not the first American fast food chain to test local tastes. Taco Bell famously struggled to win over Mexican diners before its last location shut down in the early 2000s. Overseas, Domino's exited Italy in 2022 after Italians said no grazie to their pizzas.
It's like Panda Express opening up in a Cantonese province.
Mexican-American chef Claudette Cepeda understands the skepticism, but says Chipotle may prove to be the exception.
Can you call it Mexican food?
I wouldn't. I would call it American Mexican food or Mexican American food.
Cepeda says it's an important distinction which could make it easier for Mexican customers to embrace.
I think as long as they keep their ethos of using really good ingredients, cooking everything from scratch, I think it'll do actually really well.
Chipotle said it chose its location in Monterrey because of its strong economy, growing population, and status as one of the country's leading business and innovation hubs. Still, social media appears to be split.
The reception has been divided. A lot of people are saying they want to try it, and some others are telling that I don't like that.
Only time will tell, though, if Chipotle becomes a permanent craving or just a culinary curiosity.
George Solis joins us now with a burrito in hand. He's got that great company expense account. So, George, we know if the ingredients and menu in this new Mexican Chipotle will be any different than the U.S. locations. I mean, you know, they are in Mexico.
Well, Tom, we didn't have to go south of the border for this because it's going to be the same menu, the same ingredients. But get this. The company telling Reuters they plan on opening 6 to 8 new restaurants within the next year and a half. It's actually cheaper on the wallet, too. Right now, a bowl in Mexico, about 15 to 20% cheaper than here in the U.S. So it's really food for thought, or in this case, some food to mouth.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. Not good, Tom.
George Solis with the burrito bowl. I was hoping for a burrito, but I know we're trying to be healthy here. Hope there's not too much lettuce in there. I know it's Taco Bell, but still, be careful. All right, George, thank you. All right, that does it for us. We thank you for watching Top Story. I'm Tom Llamas in New York. Stay right there. More news on the way. We thank you for watching, and remember, stay updated on breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or watch live on our YouTube channel.